Welcome to a little virtual reality. Now, virtual reality, not in the Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, PlayStation VR, Nintendo Labo VR sense, but in the more, you're in this atmosphere, okay? I mean, you're in this atmosphere. Now, 30 years ago, actually, it was the summer of '93, but I'm a little late in telling this story. So it's 30 plus years ago. So we have tequila and all kinds of spirits, okay? And what is this all about? So my father and I, this is my father at that time. Um, he was, God, I'm trying to think right now. He wasn't even 50 yet. I'm not even 50 yet. He wasn't even 50 years old yet. And the man was drinking tequila like a fucking inbred. Okay? So let's go right to it. Let's go to the heart of this. So, my dad had many hobbies, in which we'll get into in a moment. And one of them was going to the rifle range. Now, this rifle range looks prettier than the one I went to, where you'd go near the I don't know, it's like the Redlands, like you go near the forests of like sort of central California, right? And they have a rifle range, and it looks like an old western rifle range with like gravel hills and rocks and kind of almost like a desert setting, like a desert. But here, this looks nicer. I don't think my dad would have liked this one. It's too green and peaceful looking. So anyway, you have the 1 minute to ceasefire, change your targets, and then commence the shooting again. And my dad had a collection of things. Okay, guns, rifles, semi-automatic pistols, uh, different kinds of revolvers. Okay, Colts, Smith and Wessons, and Winchesters, Rugers. So he wanted. Before I was, or when I was born, my sisters in their early teens would do like these tournaments where they would shoot targets, and they would win a trophy for how well they shot their targets. Okay, that was in the '70s. Now we go to the '80s and '90s. I think my dad had me shooting for the first time when I was 14. Okay, I think I would believe, yeah. So a year before, okay, so we were going to the rifle range every 3 months. Now we get to '93, so it's about a year or two later. Actually, maybe it may have been my 13th birthday, and then 14, 15. I'm not sure. But that's for my 13th or 14th birthday. I went to the rifle range. Not exactly what I wanted to do. That wasn't what I wanted to do on my birthday. But fuck me, I'm a kid. You gotta do what you're fucking told. So I would go, okay, and I would go and shoot. My shooting abilities were shit. Okay, when you are because I remember Amaya Miller and her father went to go shooting. When you hold a gun, it's not like Dirty Harry, okay, where you got this like one hand pulls the like it's oh look how cool you are. No, you got to hold that motherfucker with two hands, especially Colts, Smith and Wessons. You got to hold that thing in two hands. That thing is a cannon. It packs a punch. So, and even with rifles, you have to put the end of the rifle between your shoulder bone, kind of like somewhere between your collarbone and your shoulder bone. And it kind of rests between there, right? So it's learning how to fire targets. It wasn't for me. I never once said this, but I went along with it because it was the only way he was never going to be angry with me. Because the man had a fucking temper, as I've told you 2 days ago. All right? For '98. So, because I wasn't shooting the targets the way he wanted me to shoot them, what do most fathers do these days? The happy dads, the happy millennial dads. They're like, oh, you did your best. Okay, let's go get ice cream. Let's go do stuff. Hey, well, let's go do something at this place. Hey, you like this place? Okay, dad, let's go. You see these father and son YouTube videos where there's some negative ones, right, with kids, but there's some positive ones where the father and son review like new toys and they're having fun and they're wearing the same t-shirts. That's like any other dad, right? Not my father. Oh, hell no. We went home and my father was pissed because he had to be because I shattered his fucking ego because I didn't want to shoot the targets. Even though I hemmed and hawed and muttered under my breath and grunted, and still I went and I did what I wanted. I did what I didn't want to do for him, and it still wasn't good enough. So we went home. Okay, now keep in mind that you got my dad bought some tequila wrapped in a brown paper bag. Okay, and my mom would ask him about it. None of your business. None of your business what it is. Don't worry about it. That's the way he would talk. Okay, that thing would be rolling around the back of the Jeep. We used to have Jeeps and stuff, and so he would be pissed. Okay, but he had that bottle, and that was tough. Now we fast forward to we got home, and the first thing my dad would do is go for that bottle. How dare I disappoint him? Okay, so hours pass, and he calls me in to go to this back house, as we call it, like back at the house, but back house. Okay. Now, originally, according to my mom and my dad, they wanted to make this family fun recreation room. Okay, you'd have Pac-Man. Maybe you'd have a pool table. You'd have like maybe an air hockey table or ping pong table, some backgammon, Chinese checkers, regular checkers, chess. Just something where everybody could come together and laugh and have a joke and whatever. Okay, this was to be what we would have had a room like this where you could do many things. Okay, maybe a pinball table, right? Pinball table, maybe like a card table. Just things you could do for fun, right? Board games, card games, so anything you could think of that was like Dungeons and Dragons, D&D, right? Because I mean, that came out in '74. Maybe stuff like that. But that idea went out the window. I mean, slowly that place rotted. Okay, and what it devolved into was this sort of ugly, almost abandoned looking shack of a place. Okay, so I would walk into there. Okay, so here I am. So I'm going to walk you through this. Okay, as though you've never been to my house, because I never invited in all the let's see, in all the 32 years I lived in that house, I never invited one person over the house ever. And if I did, it was a couple of, was it one or two girls? No, yeah, two girls, and separate times, and my family never knew about it. So anyway, I don't know. Oh wait, maybe I did invite somebody. I think after my dad died. Anyway, my mind's reeling. I'm going back in time and I'm trying to remember. So let's walk together into this back house, because actually I know for sure I didn't invite anybody into that place. So we walk in, okay? You're looking around. You're seeing this shitty looking room, okay? This shitty looking one room building, okay? And around you see a table for making bullets, bullet casings, weighing the gunpowder, a gun cabinet, drawers for classic cameras, old history books like from the Civil War, and the occasional deformed head-looking rats that would live underneath the floorboards of that house. Ugh. So I'm walking in there, and he basically tells me how stupid I was and how dare I don't give a shit about this or that, or my grades in school, or I was going to an all-boys school, and I had to get good grades to justify the $2,000 tuition per semester, I think. So he's angry with me, he's drinking, and at some point, and this was like, he blamed me for everything. He blamed me for this, he blamed me for that. And at some point, like, he assaulted me. Now, the man slapped me twice in the face, and that was shit. But the worst part was, the man grabbed one of his revolvers, pointed it at me for 2 seconds, pointed the motherfucker at me, and I thought, is this man going to kill me? Is this it? I'm going to die at 15 years old. And that's it. And that's all. That's what's going to happen here, right? I'm going to die at 15 because my stupid piece of shit father is going to just blame me for everything and end me. Well, I guess that's it then. The end. No YouTube, no internet, no AOL, 1,000 free minutes of AOL, no reality shows, no Y2K scare, nothing, none of that stuff. I don't get to see any of that because my father ends me in 93, right? Then he takes the gun, points it at his chest, and pulls the hammer and pulls the trigger and shoots 3 times. But there are no bullets. No bullets in that gun. So he shoots himself 3 times and there are no bullets in that gun. That terrified the shit out of me. That terrified me more than him slapping me. Because I knew that he was going to assault me in his drunken stupor. And if I didn't want to be there, the only way I would have gotten out of that back house was to kill him. Was to literally kill the man. This man was like 7 feet. He was, like the Big Show, right? The Big Show is like 7 feet tall. WWE. This man was like 7 feet tall to me. I was like just above 5 feet tall at 15 years old. And that was terrifying. Him taking the gun to himself, him pointing it at me, him slapping me around, that was a fucking nightmare. Okay? And in case you're deaf, my apologies if you are deaf, but you're listening to Bach. My dad would listen to classical music in the background with all the other stuff going on that I showed you. And he would do this. And at some point, we went from the back house back to the living room in the front house. And he would tell my mom to butt out and try to be nice to me, even though he was out of his damn mind. I hated being there. I really hated being in that place. It was nothing but a toxic environment. But there it was. So, that was mostly it. He assaulted me in the back house. Tried to pet me in the front house, like as though not sexually, not in that way, but like just trying to be nice to me and coddle me over the top because the man had tequila. And the man had how many shots of maybe a couple of shots of tequila in his system. Okay, that was hard. That was rough. And I trembled a bit and I cried. I said, "What? God, was I Adolf Hitler? If I was Adolf Hitler or Mussolini in my past life, and this is what I deserve, please, give me a sign because something isn't right here." So, yeah. So the next day comes about. Let's get to the next day. I think the next day was a Wednesday, so I picked up comic books. So why are you seeing Superman in the thumbnail if one almost has nothing to do with the other? Well, let me tell you, it was comic book day on Wednesday, and this is Superman number 81. This is the one before we get to 82, in which Superman returns with mullet hair, even though he doesn't have his mullet hair here. He has short hair, but okay. You can see Steel. You can see Engine City from the Cyborgs, Engine City. You can see Superboy, Connor Kent. So the next day I picked up comic books, and I think I picked up just this one. And my father and I had this awkward conversation in which he felt ashamed of what he did, and I'm sorry. And I nodded my head through this. I didn't say anything because the man was feeling guilty. And so no classical music, no delusions of grandeur, no narcissism this time. The man felt bad about what he did. Okay. Keep in mind, my father at that time was almost 50 years old, 49. Okay. As of right now, as of this recording, I don't drink for fun. I don't vape. I don't smoke. I don't blaze, and I don't drink. If I do drink, it's not tequila, and I definitely will never drink tequila as long as I live. Um, if I ever had any notions of tequila mixed drink, this event knocked it the fuck out of me because you can't handle your booze. This is what you do. So he was apologetic to me. He was upset. Um, eventually he went back to happy mood at some point after a day or two. But my thing and my theory is that my mom probably walked in to the back house where he was in his self delusional whatever, because when he was not making bullets for his guns, he was working on his studies for his school because he went back to college for adult classes at a community college. I don't even remember the name of it. I think it's Dominguez Hills. Yeah, he went to Dominguez Hills College. Cal State University, Dominguez Hills. And my mother must have scolded him and threatened divorce. You know what? You get out of there. Do not threaten divorce. You get out of there. That should have been the last straw. How many children? Okay? How many children? And at least 4 of us have suffered. I don't know if he ever laid a hand on my brother, but I would have been pissed. My brother had autism and he was blind. Okay? He just didn't understand things as quickly as I did, or you or I do. So she's just like, my mom was the kind of person that, and my aunt too, her sister, they would live with abusive people, but they would never leave those people. My aunt lived with a man when she was 14, and that man would smack her head against the walls, pop open the roof of her lip, split her lip, do whatever, black eye. If she didn't come home on time, more than 20 minutes out the door, she did everything for this man, and the man cheated on her. So she left him to go to another abuser. So it's okay to beat up your wife, but don't cheat on her. That was the logic of this family. I told you I come from a fucked up family. That's how it is. So no, I didn't appreciate all that. So this was the comic book I bought, Superman 81, and it was a rough time. Um, I don't, like I said, for me, I don't want to ever treat, if I ever have children, I want a good woman, and I don't want my children to ever be afraid of me. I don't want them to hate me. I don't want them to go through what I went through. It really sucks. So that was 30 years ago. And I remember this comic book because of that. I remember all the other stuff too. But you'd be amazed about when people try to pick fights over the shittiest of things. I mean, you look at Twitter and people weaponize the Marvels. You're a racist or a sexist if you hate this movie, or Ghostbusters or Star Wars, or when two people fight over which technology is better, 4K or Blu-ray. Not about women, not about something more important, but about which material thing is better. And it's like, when did we? I mean, this petty shit that drives us to wars. How did we get there? Look at what's happening overseas in Palestine and Israel. And the people, the citizens, who are not soldiers, who are not government officials, are suffering for that. Over, you don't believe what we believe, we're going to make you believe what we want you to believe. Your religion's changing. I mean, we're coming upon Thanksgiving, right? Thanksgiving should bring about some memories. The only memories I want to have are the French Connection and Pioneer Chicken. So, if you like this video or not, thank you very much. I know there's one guy who's got something to say to me. I've seen your videos. Are you okay? Because most of the time you have a blacked out video and you're laughing like a maniac. I don't know what's going on with you. I do. People think I don't, when I see the comments section, that I don't know, that I don't really look into them. I do. I actually do look into you. I say, is this guy, what is this guy, Jesus, or what is he? So, I mean, this one guy laughs like hysterically while he's doing, I don't know if he's doing maybe he's doing a fictional character like when Boogie does Francis. I don't know. Maybe I'm putting my foot in my mouth. I don't know, but it's just bizarre. But this is mostly me who you're hearing right now. All right. I gotta make spaghetti tonight, and we'll try to forget this one. And then we'll skip to 2003, which should be a much lighter topic since my dad was not around back then. All right.